Alright, good morning. Doesn't really matter what time of day it is, right? Because this is always posted a day late. But anyway, so I've had some things come up lately, which has forced a bit of a change in the next couple of weeks and what I'm about to do. So I was and regrettably have to pull out of the triple triathlon that I was going to be doing in 2 weeks. It's got a few bits and pieces going on that's not going to sort of let me take part of that. Anyway, won't go into too much detail about that. Physically, I'm good, and I'm really disappointed about not having the opportunity to push myself in that category, but nonetheless, it is another day, another opportunity for me to get in my ultra training, as that's what I'm all about. So today, I have about 13 phone calls with 13 different clients, and this morning I thought I've got an hour's gap. I'm going to commute run to the gym, and by commute run it's just a forced hand to get the running in. So I had 6k to get there, and I got about 500 meters away from the gym and I realized I forgot my goggles. So I did an old U-turn, U-burn, and turned on the way around. And I will tick over about a good 11 to 12 Ks this morning of nice easy training, and then I've got phone calls for the remainder of the day. So that means that I need to get to the pool this afternoon. So tune in for a nice easy swim this afternoon. But I've got to have to reset my timeline now. So because I haven't got an event in 2 weeks due to certain circumstances, which don't really need to be elaborated on, I need to still keep training and want to keep still training. But for me, I really struggle to when I haven't got a timeline and a date that I'm working towards. So you might have some suggestions for me. I don't know, maybe put some comments down. But my thoughts are, at the moment, in the current scenario, I'm going to choose to do something hard once a month. That's what I want to do. Something hard once a month, whether that's a ridiculously long run, whether that's a really long swim, or even, the trio, 3 swim, the ride and the run. Because I'm really enjoying the triathlon training, just because it breaks up your day a little bit. Anyway, nonetheless, if you have any ideas for me, put them down in the comments. I'd love to know. Otherwise, another ultra day worth of training. And let's throw in a bit of food today, I reckon. Hey? Yeah, I reckon we should have a bit of a food chat later. Tune in. Alright, like I said, going to be in the kitchen and talk about some food, what I'm doing with food. Better wash my hands. So cooking, I'm at home at the moment, which is nice to not be away. So I'm going to cook some, we're going to have naked burgers for dinner tonight. So we're going to need some eggs, we're going to need some flavouring. I reckon I'm going to get some garlic and some, what else do I want? Definitely garlic anyway. Maybe we can put some spices in there. You know what? It's just going to be garlic at the moment. And a couple of eggs, bit of olive oil. Now my diet currently, let's go back a couple of weeks ago. I was tracking pretty religiously with my food, like tracking my calories and doing all those bits and pieces. But I've now stopped that because I've got the answers that I kind of need out of, the tracking my food and seeing what I was doing. Clearly eating way too much. So that's usually a problem of mine. It's not usually the other way around. Whereas Nick, love you babe, but Nick struggles to eat enough. If we can somehow just join the two of us, that would be amazing. But hey, that's not possible. So for me,
my focus at the moment is just to um, I've reviewed, what I was doing and where my issues were and all that sort of stuff, and I was just eating too regularly, way too regularly. There was a lot of food coming into my diary pretty regularly, um, and I really don't burn fat too well at the moment, meaning that I'm choosing wrong fats in my diet and I'm getting way too many carbohydrates in my diet. Now, this is a choice. Now, if I was to wanting to just stay tracking my calories and be religious and sort of just follow the numbers, I could theoretically basically eat whatever I want and then just hit targets and drop calories and do all those sorts of things. But I just find that I always end up self-sabotaging when I do that. I work better if I am a bit more stricter with the choices of foods that I tend to eat. Um, because now when I tend to eat more healthier foods, my satiety signals will significantly be better, right? I'll be fuller much faster. I won't be searching for food all the time. Whereas when I do chronically count my calories and track my food, I tend to actually, I know this sounds weird, I tend to actually choose worse foods because I kind of go, oh, I've got 300 calories left, and I always have to then make a decision as to, right, do I go and have 300 calories of fruit or some cheese or, some nuts or something that's probably a lot more healthier, or 300 calories extra of dinner, or do I save 300 calories and have some ice cream with the kids or, you know, do something like that? That's the sort of bit of a mind stupid games that I play with myself, which is obviously stupid, but that's what happens. So for me, it's better if I go in and out with my tracking, not always do it. Um, so for a month, I'm going to not track my food, but I'm going to use the knowledge and the information that I got from tracking to then make these adjustments. And obviously, this takes quite a fair bit of discipline to do it this way, to not track your food and to be a little bit more religious about what you eat. That, for some clients can be harder. It can be much easier for clients to be on more of a mixed diet, give them a bit of a protein goal and, a calorie goal, and that's much easier for them. And you've also got some clients who are a bit like me who, tend to do better with a more rigid style eating pattern. Okay, and again, it all depends on the client. So it changes from client to client that I have, and for myself, like for me, I can't moderate things, right? So I'll give you an example. Well, not that we necessarily do this, but if we opened up a pack of Tim Tams, say, in our house, right? Nick, my wife, could have one, and she's done, and it's all over. She's finished. She's had her one or whatever it may be. Not that she would, but if she did, she would easily be able to stop. Whereas I can't stop. Like, I just want to eat more of it. I don't know, lights up my brain too much, and I get too crazy about it. So I really need to sort of rigid back um, on my carbohydrates in my diet, and namely speaking, just more like your junk food type shit. Like, not really food itself. Been eating a bit too much crap lately, so um, and just by tracking my food, I can kind of see that carbohydrates hanging around like 300 a day, which for me is ridiculous. It's amazing how, as time progresses, you can slowly, old habits can sort of fall back in. So, I'm gonna drop them right down. So probably around the 100 grams per day. So I'll be cutting out like a good 2/3 of my carbohydrate total. Um, so what sort of foods am I going to be eating? Well, realistically, just fruit, still fruit, meat, and veg, but just a little bit less of the carbohydrates. So I'm making some minced patties at the moment for dinner tonight. Nick and I are going to have naked burgers. Um, what have I eaten today? I've had 6 eggs today and a bit of bread. But the bread that I've had today is I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, but it's absolutely amazing. It's Bergen, 85% lower carb, and it's higher protein. I think we've had this before, but we haven't had it for ages. So it's a little bit of a I call this like a transition food from sometimes not eating necessarily the right stuff. There can be foods that can just help you transition. Like, where's all this? Where's all the numbers? It's not even on here. Well, that's not good. Oh, there it is. So 2 slices is a serving size. Bit of calories. It's 200 calories worth serving, 180. But there's 19 grams worth of protein just in 2 slices of bread. Like in normal bread, you obviously don't get that. So just by the meantime, while I get that other stuff out of my diet, and I, trim it in a little bit and be a bit harder on myself and not act like a child when it comes to my diet, these sorts of foods can really help. There's lots of no sugar things that you can buy these days. It's just going to the shops and checking them out and realistically just finding where they are. But there's usually a lot of kind of options that you can have. So I'm cooking these beef patties now because we won't eat them till later, and the kids will have these as well. So, but at least that way they're done. Lots of fat in here. This mince here is 80-20, so it's your 80% meat, 82% meat, 18% fat, just from Woolworths. All the fatty stuff, good fats for the body, and also that's going to realistically send my satiety signals through the roof, which is really good. So this way of eating, or the changes that I've made, I've been doing for a few days now, and I already feel just so much better. So much better. It's amazing how your food can play such a drastic role on how you feel, on how you think, on how you act, how much energy you have throughout the day. Like, you could have the same amount of calories from one type of eating and then have the same amount of calories from something else, and you could have such different responses from the body, right? Some food can make you feel energetic. Some food can make you feel, like tired and weak and sloppy and just lazy. Like, food can do that very easily to me. But some foods can also make me feel really energetic. So that's why I always find it interesting. The power of food itself is quite an amazing thing. So because this is the fatty stuff, I don't need any oil. I've put a bit of extra virgin olive oil in there, but that's just for a bit of taste. But because there's so much fat in there anyway, it'll just kind of cook all on its own. We'll do this, and then I think I need to be back on the phone. Yep. And then hopefully a pool time swim. So good. Alright, today's swim. Half an hour. No stopping. Just half an hour cruise. And we'll see what distance we do. My guess is like 1.6.5 kilometers. 165. Anyway, see how we go. Let's do it. All right. All right, done. 30 minutes. 16:50. It would have been just a bit over. Okay, and 650 meters in half an hour. I'm happy with.
All right, so for a Monday, pretty happy. 11 a bit kilometers of running and a 30-minute swim. Das was good day. Check ya tomorrow.